Welcome back. Thanks for attending this H-hour timeline brief. We'll start at H-48 and move towards H-hour. The intent of this brief is to synchronize our warfighting functions and activities across space and time. The IMCU and other supporting products will be made available and posted just before H-48. This has been published a bit early in order to ensure for adequate time to adjust as needed, as these sync matrices are highly iterative early in the planning process. First, let's orient you with the times. Across the top are the dates, then the H hours, and finally at H-5 you'll see that we've added the actual time in the Tango time zone. The warfighting functions are slightly non-conventional as we've paired movement and maneuver with log, and we will implement gray zone activities into protection. There have been fragos issued since the original op order was published a couple of weeks ago. Changes have been highlighted with a red dashed border around the event or activity. We'll touch on key events and activities and begin with H-48 through H-34, which is 17 August. Then we'll cover 24 hours out until H-6, which will cover 18 August. Then we'll review each of the final hours leading up to H-hour. At H-48, C2 is synchronizing all ISR activities across domains. The legal authorities are published, which are the ATOs. On the ground, vehicle maintenance, hardening actions are taking place while Intel begins its focus on the amphibious landing sites. So Intel will continue to monitor the landing sites until H-23, at which time it will draft its final INSUM. This INSUM will be used by C2 to publish the final decision brief, which will occur at H-7. Also at H-48, Global Hawk begins persistent ISR. Other activities occurring in this early window include the issuing of the rules of engagement, detainee guidance, the damage control plan, and on the ground, tactical rehearsals will take place in multiple formats, which will then conclude with an all-domain COMEX. At H-24, most notably, Alpha Company deploys with its amphibious landing to the north of Bahia de Los Angeles. Kazovac will be on station. Fires planners sync air-ground fires and gray zone activities commence, which that would include the electronic warfare such as GPS jamming. Also, our host nation enables area denial measures. On August 18th, also C2 publishes its final decision brief, which is the accumulation of recent intel from the most previous 41 hours of analysis. Finally, at H-7 begins the transition of ISR from operational to tactical with the handoff of persistent ISR from the Global Hawk to the Reapers, which is Alpha 3 and Alpha 4. At H-5, C2 begins to coordinate special purpose force actions and the operational law element activates at the JMOC and aboard the San Antonio. Alpha Company will have moved 7 kilometers south from their amphib landing point, arrived and stood up the FARP with log assets in place. Fires initiates the dynamic strike approval process through OPLAW. Intel shifts to targeting support and battle zone ops for the duration. And also at H-4 and H-3, both Echo and Fox companies begin their amphibious landings to the south of the bay. They are to be in attack by fire positions no later than H-1. Echo departs 30 minutes ahead of Fox company. At H-2, fires provide support to SPF activities in the South Bay. These activities are not in the CONOP but are listed on this timeline for the purpose of synchronization. At H-1, Predators Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 take station to initiate the operation at H-hour. This timeline brief and this product provide a general understanding of the sequencing of events by warfighting function. More details will be provided in the next 24 hours as needed. Thanks for attending this brief.